Welcome to the Save Par Golf Podcast, where two average golfers talk about golf and things. I'm your host, Derek.
I got a funny message about you.
You do this every time.
Yeah.
Intro.
No, I know.
Time.
I do it. It's my thing now. Greg messaged me.
What did he say?
He goes, I was so surprised to open up the podcast and hear Derek's voice.
I've been around.
There were like 2 weeks without you.
Well, gotta do what you gotta do. But anyway, all right. This is Dom.
You're supposed to hang out with me every Tuesday night.
We are currently on episode 169.
Nice.
And we have a very special guest today. We have Jackson with GolfBalling. He's an OG on Instagram and also has a podcast with over 250 episodes. Make sure to give him a follow. His handle is at GolfBalling, GolfBalling. Jackson, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast, man.
Oh, yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Very cool. We go way back. Maybe not specific mutual, name to name, but we go way back.
For sure. Well, we mentioned it before we hit the record button. A lot of the guests that we've had, whether they're business owners, entrepreneurs, whatever it might be, most of them have started within the last couple of years, and
since COVID.
And I was like, this is so cool because, like I mentioned, you're an OG, and it's really cool to kind of hear the story of how GolfBalling started and be able to kind of relate somewhat to the Save Par page. So excited to have you on and appreciate the conversation. So.
When did you guys start?
So Save Par started, I think I should just check the history. Not too long. It was like 7 or 8 years ago. And if you look, it's kind of funny. I think on my Instagram post, I have like 6,000 or 7,000 posts on the Save Par page.
Yeah.
But I did take like a couple of year, kind of hiatus. Even this last year, kind of haven't posted nearly as much. It's just kind of a little overwhelming, as you
weird.
You kind of understand too, but got really big into it. Was like obsessed with it, posting 3-4 times a day, just kind of a side hustle. Really enjoyed it, and it really, those couple of years, it really took off. And so that's part of the conversation we like to have with you, just kind of like how you, what inspired you to start GolfBalling, and I'd like to hear that story. But yeah, I'd say 7 or 8 years, and you've probably somewhere around that same time period, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I would say so. The history of GolfBalling is a little bit weird. I mean, going all the way back to the origin, 2014, it was everything Nike golf, because I think I was like freshman in high school. I just really gotten into golf. Like I'd, been into golf. I got into golf like 7th grade or whatever. And, that was like high school golf. And so it kind of got real. And, that was like Rory's prime. Yep. And so like Rory was my Tiger Woods. And so he was killing it. And so I started like Nike golf in 2014, man. Like the covert, even their apparel, like the shoes.
Yep.
I loved Nike golf. So I made that. And then, it blossomed. 500 followers, in a year. I got into high school. I met a buddy. His name was Sean. We were on the golf team together, and we made, like the 2014 Ryder Cup, we made, it was like All Things Ryder Cup or something like that. So that lasted a week, and then we shifted to all.things.golf, and that lasted like a couple of months. And then he thought of the name GolfBalling in probably 2015. And then we brought in our other buddy, Nick, who was also on the golf team. And we ripped it for a couple of years, sold it in 2017. And I started it from scratch again, took a couple of years, kind of took a hiatus, like what you're saying. And, 2 years later, I built up, 30,000 followers, and I was in college and I gave it a go. And then COVID hit, and COVID is what really changed the game. And, I don't know if you guys were running, like you'd private your account and people would share it, and you would just get like 1,000 followers in a day. I mean, it was crazy. So the GolfBalling roots go really far back. But I would say GolfBalling about 2015. So yeah, it's been like 10 years now.
So when you say that you sold it and then got it back, how did that work? Was it?
So this is the dumbest story in the entire world. So I had brought on my buddies. We grew GolfBalling in 2017, which was my final year of high school, to about 50,000 followers. And at that point, it was like Golf Grinders, Golf Gods.
Yep.
I mean, GolfBalling is like the third most followed Instagram page, or 4 or 5 or whatever. And my two buddies were going to play Division III golf. And we knew this guy. It's called the Player Service. It's in Downers Grove, Illinois. And it's like, golf lesson on crack, a lot of money involved. And so this guy was like, we'll hire you to be interns on this while you're in college, but you can have free membership to our services. So they had like a warehouse of, a couple of TrackMan simulators, a green with a short game space. It was a cool thing, but their thing was like, you switch the GolfBalling to our company, you run our company's social media, and as payment, you get free lessons and all that stuff. I didn't do it. My buddy didn't do it. Now it's not the dumbest thing I've done in my life, but it's definitely the second dumbest thing I've ever done in my entire life, selling a golf account for $0. And the worst part was I dropped out of college a couple of months later, and I went back to that guy for some money, and he like quick paid me $300 and I never got it. So I had a vendetta against him for a long time, but it's kind of a complicated story, but it was a whole fucking nightmare. So I didn't even get it back. I just made it again. I just made a new GolfBalling account.
Gotcha.
So that was the 600K account. So it's kind of crazy. I went from like a top 5 Instagram account in 2017 to a top 5 Instagram account in like 2022. I did like twice. No lessons were learned.
So we definitely want to hear about that, because this is not related to the one that we talked about before hopping on it.
So I'd say, I kind of view it as like, that was GolfBalling 1. The everything Nike golf to all things golf to GolfBalling to selling that account was like the first era GolfBalling. Then the 600K was the second, and now I'm in fucking number 3. Third time's a charm.
It's just like a sports stadium. Like the Cardinals have had Busch Stadium 1, Busch Stadium 2, and now they're on Busch Stadium 3. Yeah.
Oh wow, cool. You Cardinals fan?
Yeah.
Are you really? Wow.
Yeah.
You're from that?
What? No. I actually have season tickets for the Twins.
Okay. All right.
Back in elementary school, did you ever do like the Flat Stanley project?
I don't know.
Okay. So anyways, back in elementary school, we sent a I had to send my Flat Stanley somewhere. My dad's company, he works for, is based out of St. Louis. So we sent to St. Louis, and I got back a bunch of like postcards, Cardinals gear, and XYZ. And that was, I think, 2006. Okay. They won it that year.
Pretty good.
Oh,
yeah. They were great at that time. So there were pictures of me in Cardinals gear, and I fell in love with the city, and then I fell in love with the team. So I've been a Cardinals fan since like elementary school, but born and raised a Twins fan. They currently they made the comeback against the White Sox, which is very sad to say out loud. But my God, are they bad right now?
Are they really?
Oh, they are horrendous.
I always say Minneapolis is like, I say it's a top 5 city that I've ever been to, and then I started thinking about it, and I'm like, it's actually probably like 1 or 2 outside of Chicago, where I'm from. I would say it's like it's 1 or 2. I love the city of Minneapolis, especially in the summer. I mean, it is absolutely beautiful there. I love it so much. Because I'm from Chicago, so a couple of people went to Minnesota for college, and one of my good buddies went there, and so for like a couple of years just visited. I love it.
So there's so many cool little like parks that double as like art, but everything's super walkable, which I know is what you like about it. You can kind of walk everywhere from here.
Yeah, it's from living like in the suburbs to living downtown. You're kind of spoiled with being able to commute. Everything's in walking distance, and I do kind of. You say you're from Chicago. I do always say like Minneapolis isn't a big city, but it's not a small city, but it's like a very mini Chicago in a sense.
Mm. Yeah.
Like on a small, it's very,
I mean, you got
smaller than Chicago, but similar.
3 main teams. I mean, Target Center's cool. The first thing you notice driving into Minneapolis is your football stadium. I mean, that thing is like, that's probably what you'd think driving into some town in Europe. It's like, whoa.
Wow. Big old snapping turtle.
Like that thing is sick. You guys have that cool architecture near it where it's like, I don't think it's an actual cherry, but there's like sculptures in a park.
Cherry and spoon.
Oh yeah, okay, this thing, yeah, cherry and spoon, yeah, that like, yeah.
Well, when you make it
So-
to Minneapolis, we'll play some golf. We'd love to have
Oh
you.
yeah,
over I think it was last year they took the cherry off the spoon to have it refinished in New York.
Oh.
So it looked like a crack spoon for all summer.
It did.
So it's just like this big old spoon and then like this big brown spot. And you're like, that's the crack
Somebody's
spoon.
taking a picture of the lighter underneath it. No, but for real, it's an awesome city. Minneapolis does get a bad rep because
it's underrated here.
But it is underrated.
You know, like you said, we have 3 teams, technically 4 with the Loons. Now that we have an MLS team.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, we can't forget about the Lynx, dude. They were in the
Minnesota Lynx.
I lumped them together with the Timberwolves.
Oh,
yeah, because it's an
Thanks,
NBA
balls.
team.
that's true.
Yeah.
That's fair.
It's just one has an extra letter.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, so you sold GolfBalling. You ended up starting another one. It's a couple of times, and like you'd mentioned, you had over 600,000 followers, and I remember that. Like I said, I was telling Dom, like, huge count. You currently have like 87,000 followers, which is still a lot of followers, obviously. So you're still, what you're doing. So you had some issues with getting your original account back for the second time. Do you want to kind of elaborate on that story? Because I know you were posting a little bit, and I remember seeing some stories, and I don't know the full detail, but
Yeah.
I'm glad we're able to kind of have this conversation.
Yeah, those were some dark nights. I got clipped for copyright about 3 years ago in 2020. Actually, I think it would be 2023. So like 2 years ago, I got clipped for copyright during the PGA Championship. And I had that account since 2017, and you probably experienced the same with like just random PGA Tour copyright. Hey, you can't. This is done. This is gone from the internet.
I still get them
all the fucking time. Like I'm getting like 2018 Masters crap getting shut down on my page. And it's like, dude, like relax. How much money do you think a fucking 87,000 follower Instagram account's making? But I got clipped for copyright from the PGA Championship, and it shut my account down. And it was crazy. There's a live reaction of me. I used to do an NBA show every single day with my buddy on YouTube, and we were doing like 8 a.m. starts because my buddy was still in college. And so I'd like just rolled out of bed and I went on it. He was fucking rambling about some stupid basketball thing. Probably why the new Timberwolves big center duo is going to work. I'm just kidding. I like the Timberwolves, but
it's not working.
I saw it got shut down for copyright, and I tried to get it back. You would send, because there are people in our space like, I don't want to misquote people, but like I think like maybe like Golf and Jokes had that happen to him. Like it happens in golf where the PGA Tour shuts it down because you've just had too many strikes. And so that happened, and it was tough to deal with. And I spent that most of the summer trying to get it back from Instagram, or trying to go back from the PGA Tour and submit my emails, my appeal email, saying like, please, come on, man, like it's just come on, let me go. And it didn't work. And then so I got a message from this guy who had messaged me a couple of times in the years prior as a GolfBalling fan. And this is probably like September of 2023. And he had reached out to me saying, hey man, I can get this account back for you. I know some people, in Meta that can help get this back. But if I do this, because it's going to cost me some money, I would like to come on as a partner to help grow your brand. Because at that point I'd gotten pretty lazy with GolfBalling in the sense of, I don't really want to be on camera anymore. I don't want to be, that's why I'd moved to Florida with my buddy Nick out, make course vlogs, all that kind of stuff. And I did not want any part of that. So after college, it was just, it's a weird period where it's like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? So I'd gotten a little lazy with GolfBalling. And so he had said, I'll come back, I'll get it back. We'll go 50-50, whatever it is. And we'll bring GolfBalling back. And I was like, all right, cool. And so he brings GolfBalling back, and I started doing some digging on this guy, and it's like the slimiest, greasiest dude on planet Earth. And I was like, hey man, I don't really want to go 50-50. I would like 51-49. I'll do 51-49, whatever. And he was like, no. We had agreed on 50-50. I've got the proof for it. Like, we didn't sign a contract.
Sure.
Like, you got to do 50-50. And I was like, no, man, sorry, that doesn't work. And he kicked me off of the account because I retardedly brought him in. And that's, the biggest mistake of my life to this point. I had brought this random dude in. I didn't realize how easy it is when you're in an Instagram account that you can just change the email. I thought they sent like an email link, all this stuff. And so the guy gets into golf balling. I see he's greasy. He's not doing 50-50. So I'm like, dude, look, I don't want to do this. Let's just sell the account and we'll split it 50-50. Like, I don't want to work with you so bad that let's sell this account that you did nothing to do with and we'll go 50-50. And he was like, no. So he shut me down, changed the password, played coy. I had a couple of connections get it back for me a few times. He would just steal it back the next day. And then I eventually went through Meta, and Meta was like, yeah, you're right. This is your account. Let's get it back to your hands. And so we would do that. And then this guy would steal it back. And enough of my friends lost money helping me get this stuff back. And eventually it was just like, I'd get back in that account for 24 hours and I'd wake up the next day and that thing would be gone. Or even if it would extend to like a week, I remember I still get, this dude is still trying to get into my accounts. I will get an email on December 25th at 6 a.m. Plano, Texas, trying to log into your GolfBalling account. It's like, dude, you already stole my page. So I'm rambling. So I'm sorry, but
oh, it's okay.
I got screwed in a deal, and that's just what happened. He brought it back from the grave. And I just got screwed in a business deal. And apparently it happens a lot. So,
yeah. So when you guys were going 50-50, was there like, what were the talks as far as like splitting 50-50? Just doing like promotional stuff with other like businesses? So
he has and still does like 400,000 fake followers. And that's where I started to get wary when I look into it. I'm like, oh, all these are fake. And there's a lot of stuff in between the lines that I don't have time to get into of,
sure,
things that were like, whoa, what the fuck are you? Like, this is not right. But I would just do the content. I would just do the posting, and he would, handle the sponsorships and the brand deals and all that stuff. And I'd known him for a little bit of time. So that's crazy, man.
It is.
It really is crazy.
Going back to like the PGA Tour, issues, they just pulled the plug on that. So I've gotten a couple of those videos like censored or not censored, but they're like, hey, you don't own the media rights.
Yeah.
Totally understand. One, whenever we post something that isn't our own content, we're always giving the credit, right? Same thing with you. You've always posted like whoever it is, you normally are putting tagging the account.
The original owner.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, you're posting something for the PGA Tour. One, it's like you're giving them exposure. Yeah. And you're also tagging them as they're the owner of the rights of this video. So it's just weird how you hit a certain amount of followers and then all of a sudden like you're kind of like targeted, and it's like, well, I get it if you're not letting them know or tagging them. Makes sense, right? But I've got a few of those, and like you'd mentioned, like some of them were come from like 2019, 2020. Yeah. So when you had that, they shut it down. Did you get an email and they're saying like, hey, over this? Because I know I had the option to like appeal it, but I was like, I just deleted the video. It's like at this point, it was from 2-3 years ago. I really don't care, but it's like, it really wasn't something that I was just trying to post and not give them credit when credit's due.
So like, usually like this is happening a lot right now because the Masters is next week. So I'll go onto my Instagram account and I'll see something, because I've had this GolfBalling account for a very long time, because this was always just a backup account. Once I figured out how easy it was to get followers using that private share trick, why not? And so you go on to it right now and you can just like dispute. They're like, okay, this video is blocked. It's taken off Instagram. You can dispute it and appeal it if you want, or you can just delete the video. This was a video from Golf Douchebag of some dude, like the Instagram account, of some dude recording from his phone a clip of a golfer throwing a golf club at the PGA Championship because it was playing hard or whatever. And I just, enough of those disputes, I guess, that they were like, that's it. That's the final straw. Because you can get to that point where it's like, hey, look, man, you keep doing this, your account could be deleted, where you get that notification, and it just happened. And so, yeah, you get the appeal, like, PGA Tour, use this number, and I did it. And, I think people like Golf and Jokes have had that issue too, and they've done it, and most of the time it works, and it did not work for me.
That's kind of one of the reasons. Yeah, it's one of the reasons why I kind of stopped posting PGA Tour content. And it wasn't like I was blasting PGA Tour content, but like that's how like some of these pages, like myself, got not like famous, but it grew, right? And it's like we're sharing content and in the hopes of people can see it, but we're also giving the credit when credit's due. So it was just kind of weird how
there's also one PGA Tour. It's like what. You're watching like, okay, a Rory McIlroy, Tiger Woods clip gets clipped, and it's like, where do you think this is coming from? Like, it's the PGA Tour. Like, LIV didn't exist. Exactly. How greedy are you for money? I mean, it's tough. And I actually feel like I saw something in the last couple of weeks that they're changing that, but I don't know to what degree. But you look at a sport like the NBA. I mean, I make a ton of NBA content. I mean, I can tweet, I can Instagram, whatever the hell I want from that. You could post a whole NBA game on Twitter. 3 hours, 3.5 hours, Game 7, Warriors, Cavs, 2016. Why wouldn't you want people to see that?
Right.
You're watching NBA basketball. You're watching, this is a clip from the PGA Tour. This is Roy McIlroy. You're watching the PGA Tour, the only tour he plays for. So that's stupid. And they'll change that in one day. And I don't know if it matters.
Well, the interesting part is like now that we do stuff with the PGA with like 3M Open and everything, we get like press passes and everything. So like I can bring like all my cameras and shit.
Oh my God.
The one thing we're not allowed to do is record videos of the guys playing golf. I can take pictures.
Crazy, dude.
I can do whatever I want. I can record backwards. I can record whoever. But as soon as my camera records the players playing at the golf course that we're at, that's where it's the no-fly zone and we can get our shit revoked.
Yeah, it's so stupid. That's the one thing I love about LIV, and Phil Mickelson liked that too. It's just, it makes absolutely no sense. And I could, I could imagine like if this was a YouTube video, I can't just post the 2019 Masters, maybe you can post that, but just demonetize it. I can't make any money from that. You don't need to shut my account down because I have a 4-second clip of somebody recording their phone of some random dude throwing a golf club. They'll change it one day, and you see it in a lot of different sports. Like the MLB was very similar in that regard, where they would shut you down, and they've changed that in the last couple of years. And you're starting to see even just like rule changes in sports, like the NFL rules dropped today. MLB's got, the pitch clock now, the golden batter or whatever the hell that thing's going to be. And you see innovation from these sports, and golf has never, and you wouldn't even really expect golf to necessarily be innovative because it's a game of tradition and I wanted to uphold tradition, but golf is being left behind. And I mean, if COVID didn't happen, golf was not in a good place 5 years ago. So
for sure. And I think like you'd mentioned, I mean, now that like PGA Tour events, now you're able to record like just bystanders or fans. You can actually have your phone and have a video going. Right. Mm-hmm. And like you said, it's like, if you want to post them on the NBA, it's like, it's better for the NBA. It's just more, you're getting more views. Right. And it's like,
you ever see those late night finds?
Like say like you bring your kid to the PGA, whatever. I'm not saying you have a kid. Don't know. Congrats if you do. But say you bring your kid to this event and your kid meets Rory, right? Would the PGA flag that if you posted that video of your kid meeting Rory if he's on the golf course?
If you had like 600,000 followers, maybe. But if you had like 100 and they're like my son, they'd probably reshare it.
That's the thing is there's accounts out there on Instagram right now that are making like golf montages of like, here's Tiger Woods highlights summed up in an hour or in a minute.
Yep.
There are people doing that. There are people getting away with just posting golf content. And I don't know if it's a follower thing. But yeah, I would assume you're definitely fine. I don't think that would be an issue at all. But that's crazy. And that's what I was saying. Like, that was a trend on like TikTok a year ago. It was late night finds, and it's someone sitting courtside, and it's Kawhi Leonard's, buzzer beater in Game 7. NBA, like you want that, like a viral TikTok of 600,000 likes of Kobe Bryant's last NBA game courtside. Yep. Like it's crazy.
It is really interesting, and again, it's kind of cool to have this conversation. Some people might find this like, I really don't, whatever, but I think it's really cool to have the conversation with kind of similar pages and similar experiences, because I've ran into that as well.
And the interesting part is, right, like you said, golf is a game of heritage and everything. So is baseball. Baseball's been around for fucking ever. Like Fenway's old as hell, Wrigley's old as hell. But even before that, they were playing baseball, right? They were just playing it in different areas. But even baseball, 4 or 5 years ago, not a great place. Now it's starting to get better, but they're
making changes.
They're making changes.
Yeah,
so, like, as much as I love sitting at like an extra inning game where it's like, damn, it's the 11th inning and it's like midnight. I do like finishing 8 innings or 9 innings and being like, damn, I can go home and go to bed at like 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
I do like the clock.
Sure. Yeah. And it's just like those little things. Like the PGA wouldn't really have to change much, right? But it's been the same product for such a long time that I feel like they're complacent, where everybody's bashing Liv for all of these antics and everything. But it's like, if Liv isn't going after people on social media and letting players be themselves and letting fans be themselves, it sure seems like they're more fun and better to work with.
They're definitely winning when it comes to the social media content side.
Definitely.
For sure.
Yeah.
But speaking of that, so we've had some really cool guests on the pod, including Bob Does Sports.
Nice.
I remember back in the day, he used to send me DMs.
This was pre Bob Does Sports.
Yeah, this was like
Yep.
Okay. So he'd send videos via DM to share. Do you have any funny stories or crazy DMs that you've had in the past?
You had Garrett too.
Yep, GM Garrett Clark.
But Garrett on the pod?
No. We had him like a long time ago. He used to send me messages.
Oh yeah.
Which obviously he's like the mecca of influencers right now when it comes to him and good.
We had Roger Steele on the pod. That was cool.
Roger, yep.
Chicago guy.
Nice. That was in person too.
That was
really cool.
Yeah, nice. He was at the 3M Open. We hung out with him all day at the
cool freaking dude
at his honors booth and just kind of hung around, took pictures of everybody, and it was right next to the Black Bolt golf guys.
So if you've probably definitely seen his content, but like same guys you see on the camera, and I mean, granted he was on the camera with us, but even off the camera,
super nice.
Roger Steele seems super cool. When we were first started making YouTube content, I always wanted to because I was up north in Chicago and I wanted to link up with him. Roger Steele is making crazy strides, it appears. And what pissed me off, not an actual piss off of Roger Steele himself in any way, shape, or form, was his bio is Play More Golf. I just made sure about that, which is always like it's not a knee knock or something, but one of the only shirts I've ever made says Play More Golf on it, because I riffed it off of Eat More Chicken. I thought it was the smartest thing in the entire world, and I thought you could build an entire golf brand around it. I still do. And this was like back in like 2021, somewhere around there. And I think our Play More Golf shirt sold like, I think maybe like 15 or something like that. And I just knew it was a good catch line, and I knew there was some potential there. And
Roger Steele's got it.
Roger Steele's got it, and everyone's caught on now.
Well, his videographer is our videographer.
What do you mean? Like recording?
So all the dude who makes a lot of Roger's little skits and everything lives right down the road from me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so shout out Ty. Ty shot our shindig, the pre-shindig, and then when we were doing stuff at 3M, I got him a press pass. So then we created like a commercial and everything using Ty. So Roger Steele's videographer is also our videographer, so it's pretty cool.
Hell yeah.
It's just right down the road from me.
That's sweet.
But as far as DMs, I don't really, I mean, most DMs people send are a waste of time. I can't think of like a crazy DM. Most of the time, honestly, it was people asking for favors, which
see a lot of those.
Annoying, and I just kind of don't even really pop into those. And if it's somebody I know, I mean, obviously,
Sure.
give that a ring. But a lot of the time it was people trying to hop on a call. And in my early college days, I would hop on a call because it was like COVID. And I was like, yeah, I'll hop on a call. Like,
yeah, what the heck? Why not?
I'm 19. Like, yeah, I'll hop on a call. This is sick. And then it's like, yeah, I got an idea here. You can do all the work, but we'll go 50-50 and split it because I came up with the idea, and the idea is fucking dog shit. But I can't think of a DM. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, so the reason why I asked is just like, say, going back to like, you have like Sunny with group chat, St. Andre golf. I mentioned Roger Steele. It's just like, it's kind of cool to see how some of the influencers and golf pages have grown from the years,
oh man,
first
dude.
started it. So,
well, what you're saying about Bob, I mean, Bob was one of our like top first 20 guests. I mean, I've had Bob on the pod a couple of times, and I'm sure he would hop on again. I remember like Bob we were taking any guest at that point. I mean, we had a couple of, former golfers. We would have anybody on, but Bob was so funny, and Bob wasn't like barely even into golf at that point, as far as like golf content. I mean, it was brilliantly done. I mean, I think he had like 150K. He had a decent following. He was doing the Brilliantly Dumb show. I don't know if or the Robbie Berger show. I don't know if he's still doing that. Bob used to text me or DM me videos of his, and I loved him. And obviously he's super famous now. Yeah. And so I would always post him. And so Bob and I had a good relationship. And I probably, still do, but you even bringing that up is, it's interesting because I don't do repurpose TikTok, Instagram content anymore for a couple of reasons. One of them is like, if I were to go on TikTok right now and take a couple of posts, Instagram like flags me and says, this is reused content. It's like, damn, you're right. But that's how it used to be. I had a lot of issues in this even GolfBalling era. I changed my template up to like purely 100% original content right now on GolfBalling Instagram. I used to repost it. People get pissed off at you so much. People are like, I didn't give you permission on this. You need to shut that down right now. Or they'll just shut it down. And I'll get the message and it's like, yeah, blank and blank, shut your post down for infringement. And it's like a fucking, someone with 2,000 followers. And like, I didn't give you permission to post. And it's like, dude, I'm sorry. It's on the internet. Like, I thought you would want me to post it to grow your brand, to help grow my brand. Cause somebody like, could you imagine if Bob does sports, Brilliantly Dumb 5 years ago, and I post him on GolfBalling? He's like, no, you can't do that. Like, what are you fucking?
So
well, hold on. You and I actually talked about this in the DMs when we first started talking about the podcast and everything. Just how like golf social media is in a very interesting spot where everything's very, you open it and you see the same post 10 times in a row. Mm-hmm. And it's very boring. And that's something that we're doing with the pod, where everything on the podcast page is Derek and I, or myself, or Derek, whatever it is, right? And I wish more accounts had that same mindset where it's like, hey, let's think outside the box. Let's create our own XYZ. Let's make it original. And I feel like that's kind of been lost on social media.
100%.
So I really love that you are doing it your own way. And granted, it's a third account, I should say, but there's still something to be like, hey, this is my content. I've created it. I've curated it. You look at the podcast page and it's all podcast clips and it's all Derek and I.
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons with Safe Par is that I kind of took a break too. It's because, you probably started the same way that I did. We were sharing other people's content. Would I come up with my own memes? Yeah, there was, but it was sprinkled in with a lot of other shared content, right? And like you said, like things have changed. And so trying to like reshape the way Safe Par Golf is, it's more or less trying to put our faces on the brand or the page, right? So it's like our own content rather than just posting other people's content. So that's been one of the reasons. We're in Minnesota. The weather is very limited here. So it's like you're in the winter, you can do some indoor stuff, but we're very limited unless you're traveling all over the place, right? Yeah. Warmer climates. So
must be nice.
Right. So that, but that kind of goes back to it. It's like the way that social media in the golf space has changed. It's like you have to kind of switch things around. And I'm like, I try to look at it as that I've helped a lot of companies grow or people grow by sharing their stuff. I mean, you like Luke with Leaderboard Customs. I mean, he's sent some of the nicest messages to me saying like, hey, like I could probably quit my full-time job by you helping grow my business.
Yeah,
and things like that. It's like, okay,
that makes me cry because he's told me that too. He's like, you and Derek are like the two like realest dudes ever. And I'm like, I'm just here. Like, I didn't do the hard work that Derek did, but
awesome.
that's part of the whole, like, that's why I created the page. It's like, I didn't create it to like have people talk shit about me or like talk smack about the page. It was literally like, if I grow this page, I can help companies. And some of this, well, like I wasn't getting paid for. I mean, was I getting paid on some of them? Yeah, absolutely. But it wasn't like, life-changing, money. So it's like, that's how I look at it, as like, well, yeah, you can knock it as a meme page and my face isn't on it, but there was a lot of companies that I was able to help grow.
Yeah. So, well, even just a meme, people love memes, and even if it's not yourself, and that was just kind of the Instagram and social media space. I mean, it still kind of is. Sure. A lot of it's just repurposed, regurgitated. Yep. But back in the day, man, that was what people actually wanted to see. That was what you wanted to post. And yeah, you've thrown the occasional original meme or the original post once a day or whatever it is. And you feel really good about it. And you're also like, if I find a TikTok video that hasn't gone viral or anything and it's underground and I see it and I like it and I have 600,000 followers and I post that video, that person is thankful. If anything, I didn't have takedown requests at 600K, but at 80K, people are like, nope, you can't do that. And so you cannot make a golf brand or a golf Instagram account posting other people's content anymore. I mean, you cannot do that. It is such a different space. Authenticity in every single niche, in every social media, it is 100,000% already in, and it is about to be all you're going to see. And so, podcasts like yours, even if it's not getting, 100,000 likes or whatever, your clips aren't even getting, the engagement you want. That is definitely the route to take. And that is just what you got to do. And that's what sets you apart, and it all compounds. And yeah, that old format is certainly gone. And, you look at an account, because I had that problem trying to regrow GolfBalling in the last year when I didn't have this new original template. You find something, they're fine with it posting. They want to post it. It's a viral post. No one has seen it before. You post it. Awesome. 1 hour later, Cyrus posted it. 1 hour later. But see, I had, at 600K, I can pop over to even like golf and jokes, say par jokes, or say par, a group chat golf meme, 100K, whatever follower account. I see something circulating with them. I can post it. I can give you credit if you made the meme. I mean, it was different. It's completely done now. And
well, and I feel like everybody's like, oh man, the golf, Instagram, social media community is so tight knit and so accepting and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I would beg to differ. I feel like it's almost a free for all in a lot of ways. Like we have the PGA taking down stuff where we're actively trying to help grow the game of golf.
I think
with their content.
Yeah, I think
but then on the flip side, I'm going to let you talk, don't worry. There's people who are like, oh, you can't post that meme because of XYZ. And it's like, we're tagging you, we're doing XYZ. And, don't get me wrong, there are a lot of accounts that are great. And there's a lot of accounts that we talk to on a daily basis that are phenomenal people. But there's also a lot of the big ones that are like, hey, like I reached out to somebody to come on the podcast. I was like, hey, I love that you're coming back, blah, blah. I'm not going to say names. And they're like, hey, you don't have enough followers. We don't want to work with you.
Wow, and I was like, would love to know that. I was like, name.
Very cool. And I looked at the follower count. Derek has more followers than them.
Do you think I would know him, or?
Huh?
Would I know this person?
No, it's actually a company.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's. Yeah, I mean, that's brutal. I don't.
Even there are very few like individual people that are like, no, we're not going to do that.
Yeah, right. Because even if you had like, I mean, I could have 600 followers or 600 million followers, and if someone wants me to, pop on and spew my philosophy, then hell yeah, get to know somebody else or whatever. I don't know if it's like necessarily correlated to what you're talking about, but at 600K and every account and every important account or whatever, everybody and everybody knows you. The amount of people who did not and still don't mess with me or respond to a text or respond to a DM or any single thing, it was actually crazy. And so I'd even just say the worst part about golf balling number 2 wasn't even of my own fault of losing it and being stupid and getting scammed and this guy stealing it from me, and him being alive. I'm just kidding. But it was dark days, but I lost my train of thought.
It's okay. Well, you're leading up to something really.
I'll tell you, you DM'd me and I geeked out because I was like, I know Derek's a big fan, and I'm like, this is
yeah.
Cool.
So I'm sorry, the amount of people, it's like 10 o'clock here. The amount of people that do not, it was super depressing of not only people, or like of mutuals in that golf world that no longer will, reply to you or, give a fuck about you or anything like that. Like, just, could you imagine if somebody hacked Bob Does Sports right now and like was just like posting as them? Like, this dude posed as me, as GolfBalling for
took
months.
Your identity, essentially.
He stole my identity for months, and I'm spewing from the rafters. No one fucking cares. People like you care. Me. GolfBalling. My mom cares. My girlfriend cares. Golf and Show cares.
Family.
Yeah,
for sure.
But could you imagine if Good was hacked? Could you imagine if Foreplay was hacked? Could you imagine if Bob Does Sports was hacked? And they walk away scot motherfucking free. Yeah. That's the biggest pain in my heart. And that is what keeps me up for the last 2 years of my life, stolen or not stolen, is GolfBalling at this point in time is just kind of, I wonder what happened to it. Whereas if Bob Does Sports get hacked, I mean, that thing is solved in probably an hour, maybe 2.
Sure.
I mean, it's just crazy. So that's what upset me the most, and that's what fuels me every single day, and that's what keeps me up every single night is no one really gave a fuck. And you can say that about a lot of endeavors in life and brands in general. Like, I don't really, even these golf accounts, like Bob Does Sports gets shut down for copyright, like that really sucks, but I can't do anything about it. There was not an allegiance or a following to GolfBalling at that follower amount
that you think that you should have had with the amount of followers.
It just that's what hurt the most.
I remember you posted a story. I think I sent you a message on that, just kind of because I remember you posted some random, because you have your personal account, or is that your podcast account, I think, or something?
Okay.
Like that.
Yeah.
You were posting.
Yeah, that's the new GolfBalling. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
that's
same account.
But yeah, I hear you. So as far as your current account, are you nervous about getting it to a certain level and happening again? Like, or are you just at this point, like, I could care less, so I'll fight again to get it back? Or like, because I'd imagine it's a pretty traumatizing situation, something you just don't, you created this for the good. And all of a sudden now somebody's like trying to like take your identity. And like you'd mentioned, it's like, you can't, you're trying to get help from people and there really isn't any help. So you have to kind of fight for yourself.
Well, I mean, even just like the annoying part of that is it should have never came back because of the copyright. And that is kind of what you're talking about, where back, man, when GolfBalling was really blowing up, because I ran that a lot in my college times, and I was working with my uncle, and I was posting like 5 times a day. I was taking breaks. We were doing contracts and stuff. I was taking breaks all the time, going to the bathroom to get fire off a post. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. It's just that would be your biggest concern when you're first starting growing and you're seeing growth you've never seen before and you're actually making money. It's like, oh shit, what if this account gets taken? And then, months pass and years pass and that's no longer a main concern. And then it happens and it's like, oh shoot, it's gone now. No one cares. I have a different posting style now that wouldn't, I don't think be hit by any type of copyright, because I'm not stealing from not that taking a post from the PGA Tour is necessarily stealing, but It's all original in the sense of it's like history or it's like a fun fact. So no, but I do think everybody should be wary of that and try to do, like, if you were just a meme page still, you should still be doing this so people can put that together and, face to name and all that kind of stuff and build the rapport with you. So, because stuff like this, the podcast, this is what podcasting is really interesting, because we used to not post it on YouTube. So you'd get like 1,000 plays on a podcast, but there's no comment section, or now there is on Spotify, but you don't really have like people saying, like a YouTube video or an Instagram post, their thoughts on it,
comments on there. So
that's always weird. And that's always something I really like, especially now, I try to always remember is like, you never know who is watching. And, even if a podcast does bad or a video does bad, I mean, people still care. People still want to watch it. So I think, as far as being afraid, I mean, no, but I'm just so focused on authenticity and, not even about money or fame or followers or anything like that. I also want to be proud of what I post, and I want to sleep well at night knowing about what I post. So
you created,
because I don't want to build a brand on Instagram anymore. I guess is pretty much how I could have summarized all that in one sentence.
No, it's great. I think it's true to your point. Like, that's kind of what the Dom had mentioned, and like how I'd like to run the safe part. It's more authenticity of ourselves versus just randomly posting stuff. But
I still think it's crazy that my face is everywhere and nobody bats an eye.
Well, it's a vulnerability.
What do you mean?
Like, I know you don't care personally.
Oh, no, I don't care.
Yeah, I know you don't care personally.
Like,
but for some people, that is a big deal, having your face out there.
They're talking about hate comments. Yeah, hate comments get you, man.
There's always little trolls, right?
I have an account. There's an account called like GolfBalling Sucks or something like that. And there would be this person, because I would post swing videos, or, my buddy Nick and I would be, golfing and filming 500 viewed YouTube videos on the course before YouTube golf was big. And our videos were terrible. So we would have never, I did them very poorly done. But
do you have like a specific comment that like really got to you? Like
no, I just mean like you get those. I mean, especially with a big follower account. I mean, there's going to be trolls, and like, I'm pretty sure that person is somebody I know. I had a feeling that, and I still do, that was somebody in my friend group, and I would love to know who that was.
It's probably just like,
it's probably your best friend.
It's like, have you seen that TikTok where it's like, who the fuck in my contacts is Barney the dinosaur? I've seen that one a handful, but it's like, okay, which one of you is secretly Barney the dinosaur on TikTok? And like the verified one, I can imagine one of my buddies being like, Safe Bar Golf Podcast sucks. And then they just comment like ugly on every.
I mean, that, because hate comments like that from a buddy or like a salty friend or, an envious friend is a whole thing. I've never, I guess my whole point was I've been getting that for so long, no matter what enterprise I've done so many different things on social media that's never been a thing. I mean, why would I would never care what some random person on the internet
sure
cares.
Well, that's good. That's cool.
You also, and sorry, I don't, on something like Instagram of like me, wearing a, stupid golf fit or whatever, that's whatever. But then like constructive criticism is something I do like to, take account into. Like if someone, has a comment on a YouTube video of mine of, a football team or whatever, and it makes sense, then you just kind of take care of the problem. But as far as that, I've never really understood it, but I think it's just because I've been doing it for so long. And I don't think a hate comment would get you, nor should it, obviously, but
yeah. Well, I think, my parents did a really great job explaining to me at a young age that like, hey, not everybody's going to like you. And I'm like, okay, like that's absolutely fine. I know my personality is a little bit more out there than like Derek's is. Derek's a little bit more quiet and reserved. This is me. Like, unfortunately, I am kind of loud, kind of brash.
That's what you want.
Opinionated.
Yeah, I was just saying, I think it's more opinionated.
But, I think that's good.
But like, if you don't like it, that's fine. I'm not gonna like cry for you to come and listen. I'm not, and if you're like, oh, Dom, your hair's stupid, very cool. I can cut it at any time I want and then make that person awake. Like does not affect anything. And for some reason, people are too afraid to make that first step because of that.
Yeah,
stupid people.
Especially too, like people wouldn't say that, to your face. And I've met, some people have come up to me and no one would ever say that to my face. And I have a lot of experience in that realm on just being on YouTube, of people being big time haters that you don't even know. And it's just always jealousy. I mean, it's always envy in that sense. And I don't.
I was just gonna say that it's actually sometimes it's good to have haters, right? You're doing something right.
Yeah, exactly. I don't have any haters right now, and it
doesn't get any hate comments.
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
Shit.
I'm getting no hate. I'm not getting 1 stars anymore that I'm swearing too much.
Dang it.
I know. You guys are sitting talking about hate comments, and I'm like, nobody comments on the podcast hate. And I'm like, am I doing something wrong? Like, do I have to post more like controversial stuff?
That's one way to do it. I have a couple more questions I want to ask you. But you talked about NBA and some other stuff. So what do you talk about YouTube? Are you big into other sports as far as on YouTube? Like what else do you do?
Yeah, I've been covering the NBA since 2020, the NFL since 2022. Like the Viking, assume you're Vikings fans. No.
Oh, Vikings fan? Hell yeah.
You're a Vikings fan.
He is.
I can see the stadium from my apartment here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You can see that from here? Oh, wow. Yeah. That's sick. I just made a JJ McCarthy film study 3 days ago. Now after the whole GolfBalling exposure, I kind of know the underbelly of I actually try to keep it as unknown as humanly possible. But that's also a big issue as far as like, growing an audience and people caring and stuff. And I have a lot of issues. I feel like I undershare because I feel like I used to overshare as a younger potter. Now I feel like I undershare, and there's definitely a healthy medium. But
my entire life is in our group chat.
See, you watch a podcast. I watch like other people's podcasts, and that's what I want. I don't want to hear like necessarily like for my podcast, like if I was a fan of account like that, I don't even, or if I'm listening to you guys talk about, the Masters this past weekend, I'm not even as necessarily interested as, let me check out the Safe Park Golf Podcast Masters take specifically. Or I mean, that came out a little bit different, but like, I kind of want to hear you guys riff and
it's
rap.
more or less just hear a conversation or hear us talking.
Yeah, like I kind of want to. I heard that in a podcast I was listening to you guys earlier. I think it was you were saying you had a podcast. It was like your 4th of the new year, 3rd of the new year, and you're like, and Dom's not here. Blah blah blah. I like the riff, and you want to hear, because my girlfriend loves like stupid fucking YouTubers, and sometimes it's on the TV, and it's like I like hearing the behind the scenes. Like, give me a day in the life of like your actual day. I don't need to see you like waking up at 6 to go to the gym and giving me a bullshit day. Like, give me the boring parts to it.
I work 9 to 6, and then I'm here, and then I go home and edit, and then I'm probably gonna get Taco Bell on my way home, and that's a day in the life of Dom.
Oh yeah.
But you make a good point, because there's a few different podcasts that I actually listen to, and it's the same thing. It's like I really enjoyed their conversation, so it really doesn't matter what their topic is. It's just like I generally like listening to what they have to talk about.
My favorite one, not to interrupt, my favorite one that you and I have done without a guest is we did one where we had to try to name a certain number of things before the other person ate a certain number of pizza rolls.
Oh yeah,
by far my favorite thing we've ever done, and nobody liked it. And I'm like, I'm having so much fun trying to name golfers while Derek eats pizza rolls, and I think I bombed that one, but I killed the other one. It's one of my favorite things because one, we waited too long because the pizza rolls were cold.
Yeah, we're supposed to do like when it was like super hot.
Yeah, or not super hot, but like warm, right?
Yeah.
That's my favorite thing we've ever done. And there was no guest, nobody around. We're sitting here in front of my laptop eating pizza rolls and trying to name golf courses and golfers.
There are people listening to you say that sentence right now that say that was by far the best episode ever. And now I'm going to actually go back and watch that again because I'm glad you reminded me. And I think that's something so important. I feel like I just kind of touched on it. Whether you're podcasting or making a YouTube video or putting something on Instagram, is like most people do not comment on an Instagram post. Most people do not comment on a podcast episode. Most people do not comment on a YouTube video. Like
I don't.
I saw a take saying like sane people don't comment on random Instagram accounts. And it's like, there's obviously you're not insane if you do that, because I do that. People do that.
Sure.
Like it's just social media, but that's like people definitely listen to you say that right now and are like, I want to go watch that. I didn't see that, and you have no idea. I had when GolfBalling was first blowing up, I didn't know people knew me. I didn't know people knew my face, or my Instagram videos of me, swinging a driver off the deck don't get too many likes and all that stuff. And I've been stopped first time I ever got stopped, I was at brunch with my mom, like visiting home from a weekend. Someone left the restaurant. I was like, GolfBalling. But you don't get that. If I were to go on an Instagram post back in the prime of me, it's mostly hate. But I'll be at the O'Hare Airport about to board a plane and someone's like, GolfBalling, love it, keep it up. I'll be at a bar in Connecticut and someone wants a picture. Like,
that's so cool.
The people I like and I consume every day, or the podcasts I listen to, they have no idea who I am, and they'll never know who I am. So I think that's for like creators always so important to notice. Like, maybe my last pod got, 75 plays, but, different people like it. Like, even using a vague example of like Joe Rogan, like, I don't need to hear about your MMA talk. I don't watch the MMA or the UFC, but I think it's kind of interesting when he explains it. But like, give me your day in the life, give me your diet, give me what you did last weekend. Like, that's the stuff I want. So,
no, it's true. No,
by the way, it's episode 141, Battle of the Pizza Rolls. We talked about Matt Kuchar's controversy, and I don't remember what that controversy was.
Because I think it was. Yeah, his caddy deal.
Not paying the caddy.
He's been known to not
ripping him off.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, check that one out. Episode 141.
141. Competitive pizza rolls.
Okay, a couple more questions for you real quick, and then we'll wrap things up. We really do. I hope you enjoy the time. It's
cool.
Great to finally meet you.
I told Derek we need to come on yours. Just tell us more.
Yeah. I'm literally whenever. I'm around most nights. We'll die on a night, but I'm around most of the time.
We'll figure it out for sure. Okay, so maybe you don't have a story. So we've had some really cool golf experiences since starting Safe Par Golf.
Like what?
Well, one would be the Dream Open, the Roger Steele deal.
I was hoping you would talk about them.
Some of the tournaments that we've obviously been able to play in and actually host.
Nice.
But do you have a few cool golf experiences that come to mind since starting GolfBalling?
Oh man, my whole college life. I mean, it was the greatest show on turf. I had so much fun, and a lot of it was with my buddies. And one time in college, we got flown out to Cabo view. Yeah, we got flown out to Cabo to tour a resort, Diamante, that was just being built because Tiger Woods had just made a golf course there. They had 36 holes right on the Pacific, coolest golf course I've ever played, and right on the Pacific. And Tiger Woods had made and designed one of them, and it was like brand new. Like they were building it. We were at the construction sites, and so they flew us out like one random school week, my buddy Nick and I, and that was so surreal. And like now they play a tour event there. I don't know if they still do, but Diamante and Cabo. So I played that. I think I quit golf for a couple of months after that. I think I shot like 97 at Diamante or something. And I was like, I'm done, dude. This is like, I hate this. So
game. Just to rewind a little bit. So this was something that you were able to take advantage of with the GolfBalling Instagram, or was it something you just
GolfBalling, someone just reaching out. I had so many, a lot of the best memories of my life were just like literally like sleeping / living in your car. I would do road trips and I would just post on the story like, who wants to play golf? I was in Virginia one time visiting a buddy's family vacation, and it was the last day, and I just threw up on the story like, driving back to Illinois tomorrow, anyone on the golf on the way home from Virginia. And someone was like, member at TPC, Michigan, which is like up in the fucking, Michigan's not really far. Michigan's far from Chicago. I went way out of my way.
That's a hike.
I drove all day, met this dude and his buddies and played around golf at TPC, Michigan. Just had a blast. We would my buddy Nick and I would just it'd be Christmas time. We were like, let's just go to Nashville. Let's just get in an Airbnb for a couple of nights in Nashville, post on the story about it. We got onto this course called Troubadour with these two brothers, two of the coolest dudes I ever met. And Golden Tate joined us for the back nine, as a Packers fan, as a Notre Dame football fan, playing with Golden Tate was really cool. One time I was visiting my dad in Florida and I posted being at Siesta Key, and this guy was come play with us. And we went to this private Florida golf club, men only. The carts went 35, have ourselves a night. Best days of my life. Well, that sounds really sad saying that.
Pretty cool experience.
But some really fun experiences in my life that I'll never forget and I'll always remember. Yeah.
Which is kind of wild, starting an Instagram page and led to a lot of things like that. And I'm very grateful, obviously.
And see, that's even just to riff back off of what I've already said way too much. People love the story, dude. People love the story. There's a follower of yours somewhere in maybe even, Hawaii, where if you, or that's maybe a bad example.
Send us, post a story later tonight. We're going to Hawaii.
You're in SoCal on work and you post a story and someone's like, hey man, I'm a member over at LACC or Riviera or something. I love your freaking stuff, man. Let's play tomorrow. It's whoa.
Let's make it happen. Yeah. No, for sure. I agree. We've had a couple of those instances, not Cabo by any means, but we've had some pretty cool experiences.
We were invited out to play this resort a couple of years ago. And was it the second round we played?
It was the first or second. Yeah, it was the beginning.
Anyways, it's the back where we had to stop in the clubhouse for something. And they're like, oh, yeah, are you guys the Safe Par guys? We're like, yeah. And they're like, oh, we're watching you play as you guys post on Instagram. I'm like, I'm losing. And they're like, we know. I'm like, cool.
It was pretty cool, though.
Oh, that was the round that I did the math wrong because I told you shot a 78.
Yeah, he got me all excited because I'm normally mid 80s.
I can't do math. And I'm like, dude, I fucked up. I'm like, Derek, I think you shot a 78.
And then I shot an 80 or an 81. So it really was
nice. Still good round.
So I'm like, oh, cool. I shot a 90. And Derek's like, no, hold on. He's like, you shot an 87. I'm like, oh.
So his went down.
It helps you. Yeah.
Stupid. But okay, 2 more questions. We'll just do a couple of rapid fire questions. We'll wrap it up. So like I said, we appreciate your time. I know it's getting late there.
So I went out there.
Yeah. It's the snow is sticking.
So I drive. I have a company van that I get a cruise around in. You can't see it.
It's gone.
It's gone.
Just the snow is
the snow. The snow is
taking over. Yeah, it wasn't sticking.
Snow up there is crazy.
It's April 1st and
April Fool's joke.
The other day was 73. The other day was 73.
It was, yeah.
Damn.
I was running outside. Yeah, Friday. But okay, so the Masters right around the corner. Who do you think is going to win the Masters, and who would you like to see win the Masters?
I got a 2-part T-shirt. Yeah, I got a 2-part answer to your 2-part question. First off, all week I thought it was Masters week. I was telling my girlfriend was like, $2 mimosas. It's like, you've wanted to go to church. There's this church in our downtown town, and then we can go get $2 mimosas at that one bar. It's like, no, honey, the Masters is on.
The Masters is
kibosh any plan you had from Thursday to Sunday. All right. Yesterday, I'm texting my buddy. I'm on a walk. I'm like, dude, we gotta get this Master. When do you want to do the podcast? And he's like, I think Tuesday doesn't work. I'm doing this. I don't want to do too many. He's like, Wednesday works. I might do Wednesday does not work because I don't want to get a preview out the night before the tournament. And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? The Masters is on Thursday. We got to do this prep preview tonight. He's like, dude, check the calendar. So that was that. And then, I'm wearing my
Rory's Year shirt. I like
it. I'm wearing my Rory's Year shirt. So I'm going Rory McIlroy.
So do you think he's going to win or do you want him to win or both?
Well, I think Rory always can win the Masters. Yeah. I think he will win a Masters. And as the years go on, it's like, all right, this is the year. And then it's also more pressure where it's like, oh, shit. I think he's kind of embracing this villain role. And, Rory's got great record at Augusta. I know he can win. Obviously, he should have won it at one time. But I'm going Rory. And I honestly think the tour is in a great spot. And no matter who wins this tournament, I think it's going to be a blast. I'm loving these tournaments, man. I'm watching freaking the Cognizant Classic is 20 minutes away. I didn't go. Annoying. I'm watching the Valero. Yes. I'm watching golf every Sunday.
Go.
I know, but I'm watching golf. I'm watching golf every weekend right now, and I'm absolutely loving it. I haven't done that in a couple of years. So everyone says on like Twitter and stuff that like golf's in a terrible spot, and the TGL sucks, and Live is better. Live's complicating it all, and I agree to a degree of both of those. But I think the product on Sunday, I'm really liking these.
Yeah. I would agree. I think Rory has obviously a little bit more pressure just trying to win it, but he definitely has the capabilities to win it. He's the second favorite right now. Scotty Scheffler is plus 460. Rory's plus 650. The guy that is third on the list is that, and I could be butchering his name with that, Ludwig Aberg or Aberg.
Is he really? He's number 3.
He's number 3, plus 1,500. But dude, that guy's a beast. He's young, but he's huge and he can mash a ball. I mean, the guy.
I'm looking at somebody else who you guys haven't talked about.
Colin Morikawa.
No. Bryson.
Oh, Bryson.
Bryson had a run. Was it last year that he went on his little run in the Masters or the year before?
I'm not sure.
He's been close, and obviously he's won majors. He's won actual. He went. If he gets high, goes on a run.
He could 100,000% win, and I would be so happy as well. I was pissed at the U.S. Open, when he hit that one of the greatest shots I've seen, and Rory choked his putt. The thing with these Live guys, especially a player like Bryson, is you don't watch them play. I mean, maybe you watch Live, but I think it's every weekend. But Bryson's still very freaking good. But
he's very good.
After those par 67 comments, I don't know if the karma gods at Augusta are on Bryson's favor, but I think they are now. I think he had a little bit of you're not going to score very well here for a couple of tournaments, but.
Another underrated player that I really like, but again, he went over to Live, is Joaquin Niemann. He's a stud.
Dude, he was so underrated, and he was one of those stud golfers, especially in like betting, like consistent, Mr. Reliable. Yeah. I couldn't give a rat's ass about him now, in the sense of I don't know what the hell he's doing. I don't care if somebody told me Brooks is broke a liver. It's exhibition golf. People hate. I probably steer away a lot of people on Live,
I think that Live and PGA eventually are some sort of going to come to grips, and I think it'll be better for the game overall. Yeah. But I don't really watch Live, not because I don't really care for it, but one, I'm just so used to the PGA Tour being on CBS or whatever it might be, and I'll tune in.
I think the idea was definitely cool. But I do think the Tour and Live will come to agreement and all that kind of stuff, and it's just. Golf needs villains, and a lot of those guys are on Live. And I think the idea was well intended, or like a guy like Phil, like my hands are tied, man. The fucking Tour sucks in those certain regards. So I don't like the product. I think it's exhibition golf, but I definitely don't knock why you would go to Live, and I definitely don't knock why they're still in the.
I mean, not to go down that rabbit hole, but I do kind of like the team sport where they're talking about people being able to purchase the team, not obviously just your average Joe person, but there's ways to be able to build a team. I think almost every sport has a team type of setup, right? Exactly, where golf doesn't. So I like that aspect of it, but at the end of the day, I would rather have them both combined and have all of the best players playing against each other.
I also like that it's almost empowering the younger guys who haven't made the tour yet. Weren't they signing really high level college players right out of college for a little bit?
James Piot right after his AM win, they grabbed him immediately, which sucks for the tour too. I mean, everyone kind of loses.
For the PGA, but now these guys don't have to go through the Q School or Corn Ferry. They get a taste of playing against
some of the best players.
Whether you want to say it or not, everybody on Live is a professional golfer, and now they get that firsthand experience.
It'd be like a couple of NFL guys branching out and starting a team where it's it's NFL competition. The only thing is, here's the reason I think teams in golf would be cool, but you have to do it almost in a tournament sense, like the Ryder Cup. Like there should be a Live versus PGA Tour. I don't like the idea of teams being in golf because you just see it with the TGL. I mean, name me Atlanta Golf Club's team. I mean, name me Boston's team. Name me Jupiter with Tiger Woods. Like, name me these teams. I watch TGL 70% of the tournament, the events. I don't know.
Who's on who?
The teams work it's just like match play. Like it works when it's select. Like it has to be its own thing because like, think of like, I don't even know too much about tennis, but imagine like tennis switched and it's like, all right, you got Alcaraz versus Djokovic in the finals, but they're not playing for Wimbledon. They're playing, Slovenia versus Spain.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, yeah, this is still a cool product. It's cool to see, there's some allegiance. If they did that once a year, it's cool. But if tennis just like switched to like country teams, it'd be like, I don't think it really fits.
Tennis, golf, most of those are all kind of a individual team sport. So I totally agree with you there.
Yeah.
But I do think that there is something with the team aspect, whether it's
look at Ryder Cup. Yeah, exactly. Look at the Ryder Cup, man. It's everyone loves it. It's just like the Masters.
That's a good point on the TGL, though. It's like I can't name anybody who played. To me, the only like really cool moment of the TGL was Tiger Woods asking for a fucking chicken finger.
Right? Yeah.
I was like, I kind of want a chicken finger.
Right. Yeah.
But it's like I'm not saying the TGL was bad because I do think people tuned in, had fun with it. But I also feel like it was a little too hard to get into, wishy-washy, because it was like looking back at it, like, can you name anybody other than like Tiger, Rory, and
like with teams, like if Minneapolis didn't have a football team and they get a football team, you start to learn that team. And it's almost like the NHL where you'll have like the Vegas Knights come in and people living in Vegas are like, all right, this is our team now. We have to learn this team too. It's just, I think with like a team, like there has to be some type of like communal.
Sure.
I mean, the team I rooted for was like Boston because they had Rory, but then like, I don't care about Shane Lowry like much. The TGL and Live, like the ideas and the theories are cool. And hopefully, especially the TGL can adjust and try and make that work. But like expansion teams and new teams, like it takes years to learn that.
I do like that golf is trying to push the boundaries. So
at least you're trying.
Like innovation.
I think the issue I have is it still feels like it's a safe boundary to push and not like cutting edge, like MLB's doing like the pitch clock and stuff like that. And now with the EBS system, with the batter can challenge pitches, and I still feel like the PGA is still playing it very safe. But you know, like you guys said, at least they are trying to make that effort and everything. I would just like to see it. Yeah, I would like to see it like a little bit more like, hey, like let's really try it. See what this.
One of the things I've mentioned or requested in the past was like doing a prime time, like night tournament where you're playing in a place where there's night golf. Like there's plenty of courses. I mean, night golf is a huge thing now. It's like you're still playing outside. You get people out, kind of have like it's kind of like a waste management, but more at a night scene. It'd
be cool to do it in the evening, watch the sunset.
That's what I mean. Like
watch the sun blind everybody. And then all of a sudden it's night
lights
golf.
just showed up.
And it goes.
That would be pretty sick. Okay, a couple of rapid fire questions. We'll wrap it up. This is Dom's favorite rapid fire question.
It is one of my favorites. So hole one. So for the shindig, we're doing a walk up song. So everybody who comes out and plays, what's your walk up song?
My favorite song ever is November Rain. I'd go November Rain. I'd probably go Slash's solo on November Rain and not even have lyrics.
Little GNR?
Little GNR. Yeah.
All right. I like it.
I'm sticking with Dior.
Yeah, what are you guys?
Dior? I'm doing Dior by Pop Smoke.
I adore your Dior.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
So my go-to is usually, like the last time I said it was the Bulls theme song.
Oh, nice, dude. Hell yeah.
So Dom had made a good point. He's like, I got a good one for you too.
Last week I was like, hey, you should do the Space Jam song.
The original Space Jam song. That would be pretty dope too.
That's
well, and then he goes like the LeBron one. I'm like, there's no song in LeBron.
No, I said not the LeBron yet.
Yeah.
But you respect the Bulls theme song, obviously, from Chicago.
No,
I'm a Bulls fan.
Like the Space Jam song is like,
it is dope.
Way better.
I don't know about way better, but I do like that one.
I'm not as old as you.
What do you guys' age?
I'm 35.
35, dude. You're 35. You're a great 35, man.
Thanks,
Jesus
man. I appreciate
Christ.
it. Thank you.
What's the secret?
Yeah.
35. Yeah.
Some days I feel like I'm 55. Some days I feel like I'm 25. It just depends on the day.
Man.
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'll be 28 in May.
Okay.
How old are you?
I'm about to be 26.
26? Okay.
Yeah.
I look like I'm 20.
I wish I could be 26 again.
Really? What did you
Time
do
flies,
different?
man. Enjoy it. That's all I got to say.
Dude, it goes so fast.
It does.
It's already 10:30, even just on a day-to-day basis. You got a tip for me?
I tell you, every day we don't have enough time in the day. It's crazy.
I feel like yesterday was COVID. Like I really that was 5 fucking years ago.
Yeah. It's like a whole new reality.
So I got a Snapchat memory, and it was like day 2 of quarantine. I took all the strings off of one of my Jordans and took it apart.
Crazy time.
Yeah. No, I just took the whole shoe apart because I'm like, I got time to kill. And I was like day 2. And I was like, what am I gonna do with my life?
Okay. Who would your ideal golf foursome be? Could be anyone who's alive or dead. Doesn't matter.
Oh man, I used to do this on the pod too.
I'm waiting for somebody to say someone like really controversial, but like also just like, damn, that'd be cool.
I've realized in Jeopardy, I need like multiple choice or ideal.
So usually most people go with like a golfer, and then they'll do like
I want Kanye in his little black hood that he wore on social media.
Was that recent?
Yeah.
Okay.
With his black KKK hood, I want Kanye.
Oh my God.
Has nobody seen that?
Yeah, I saw that.
He walks out with DJ Academics and he's got this full like KKK outfit on, but instead of white, it's black. I want Kanye.
Dude, I loved Kanye back in the day, but he's crazy.
So I think he's wholeheartedly fucking nuts. But I just want to see like what happens with him on a golf course with a golf club in his hand.
He'd probably walk off. But okay, so going to his point, I would say like normally people pick like a actor, actress, musician, and then like some sort of other sports player.
Yeah.
So it depends on the vibe you're going for, like, right? You're looking for like a comedian. So I'll usually rock with a comedian. I mean, Tiger or Michael Jordan would be the top 2 for me.
Yeah. I've said I'm going to, when my head hits the pillow tonight, I'm going to be like, you butchered, you literally failed. Like that was the easiest question in the world. Like, cause I've already talked about Rory McIlroy like 8 times on the pod. So I'm going Rory. Feels a little weird going Rory. I just mentioned Joe Rogan. That sounds kind of cool. I mean, I'll throw him in it. I don't think he golfs. As hell. Throw him in it. Honestly, I got absolutely nothing.
Did you plug that light in, but not actually plug the cord into that light?
I didn't plug any of the cords.
I plugged it into that one. I assumed you did.
I didn't plug it.
I'm gonna shift your question, and I'm just gonna say I'd rather. I can't think of people who I'd rather play. I mean, I like playing with my buddies. Outside of like golfers, I can't think of anybody off the top of my head. I'd like just like my buddies at Augusta. I know that's so cliche, but like I'm taking that. Maybe not over $1 million, but I'm taking.
I don't like my friends enough for that.
I would much rather play Augusta with my buddies and probably play with like Tiger Woods, and I mean that could be controversial, but
yeah, right, yeah.
But that's not a bad pick.
I mean,
unless we're playing with Tiger Woods at Augusta, then I probably wouldn't pick my buddies.
I mean, no offense. I don't. I mean, you left me home from Vegas. Who knows how many times?
A lot of times.
He's like, "How have you never been to Vegas?" I'm like, whenever you go, you never invite me.
Well, for the record, he would be the third wheel because it's me and my wife. So.
Oh, there you go.
I'm by myself.
Last time you went, you took the sister-in-law.
Okay.
The third wheel.
That's true. You had that, but that was supposed to be a family deal. Last minute, her parents couldn't go. So
that's true. Like, that is kind of family.
I'm not family.
It's family. Oh, that's an interesting scoop as well. But that's like actual, blood.
Yeah. Okay. 2 more questions. Last one for me is going to be, what's your go-to golf snack? Could be beverage, whatever it is. Mine is, I would say, probably cold M&Ms with peanut M&Ms.
Oh, I have mine in my bag.
Nice.
Sounds good.
I would like that one as a snack. But again, it could be a beverage, whatever you're feeling.
Yeah, probably just go like a cold not too cold. I'd get a Snickers. They're going to be too cold because they're in the ice. I'd get a Snickers bar and let it sit for probably like a shot or two, and then get into it. Because I hate when it like hurts my teeth and they're like hard as wood and they chop it off. Kind of sleeper. There was this course in Chicago, outside of Chicago, called Ravislow that would have PB&Js at the turn. And best PB&J I've ever had in my life, and I've just always remembered that.
You know what? That's something you never really hear at the turn is a PB&J.
Right? And you can have that pre-wrapped. You can have that pre-wrapped. You can have that ready to go, because that's the big thing with the turn is I hate being rushed. I hate being rushed on a golf course, and I hate knowing there's a group behind me. And if we go to the turn, like
they're going to be right down your throat.
Yeah, it's just annoying. So have the hot dogs ready to go. Have you could have every golf course should have PB&Js ready to go. I was at one of the courses I was saying, Troubadour. They had like like one of those Instagram videos you'd see where it's like a halfway house and it's like cracked out, and they have every single thing that's ever existed. They have that on like every 3 holes, and it's just insane. You could have anything you want, but.
I mean, I think if you are a member of a private golf course, they should spoil you a little bit like that. You're already paying money, right?
Yeah, their PB&J has gold flakes in it.
Okay, so we always end.
Hold on. So my favorite one, I love these. They're from Honey Stinger. So they came out with a new flavor. This is the Citrus Splash. These things I throw in my bag. Here, you want to hold it there?
What code should I use?
What was that?
What code should I use? I'm just kidding. This is like a sponsorship.
I fucking wish. I buy these myself. I love these. They're little energy juice. I throw them in my bag, really? And they're just quick carbs and everything. Yeah,
they're good.
Yeah. Okay,
so we always end the podcast with a food-related question. So Dom, go ahead and take it away, my friend.
I missed. So how do we want to word this? Since we're
gonna visit in Tampa, right? Or let's meet up in Chicago.
Because if we're gonna go to Tampa, we're gonna go to there's a Cuban restaurant near the History Center that is.
That's good.
Oh wait, did you not know that?
Send that over. Yeah, no, I don't know anything.
Oh, I just moved here a few months ago. There's a Cuban restaurant either attached or right next to the Tampa Historical Museum or whatever. It's super good.
Cool.
Very legit. And since it's right on the water, it's pretty. Yeah, it's Cuban.
Yeah.
Sweet. So are we doing it in Chicago?
Yeah, let's do Chicago because it sounds like you probably have a better idea.
So if we go to Chicago, I've never been there. Derek lives there basically. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. Where are we going?
Oh my god, dude! Oh fucking A, breakfast. Sausage, egg, and cheese. We're getting breakfast.
We could also skip breakfast. That's been an answer before.
Yeah, you can go to spin this however you want.
I'd go to Einstein. The perfect breakfast to me 4 years ago was going to Einstein right before class and getting a sausage, egg, and cheese. Breakfast, honestly, man, I'm not too well versed in the Chicago scene of breakfast. I don't think. Yeah. So
okay, no, that's good. That's I mean, honestly, a nice bagel in the morning is.
I do like a good bagel.
Yeah, I'll either take you to Einstein's for a sausage, egg, and cheese, so we can just keep it moving, or McDonald's for a sausage and nothing.
That actually, I haven't had one of those in years, but they're so freaking good.
I love the McGriddles,
dude. I could smash like 4 hash browns too. That sounds.
The amazing. McGriddles are so good.
Staying on topic, I just cashed a McDouble, just ripped it apart.
Okay, so
lunch.
Yeah, lunch.
Gene and Jude's is a classic Chicago hot dog. I don't really like hot dogs all that much, but a Gene and Jude's hot dog is awesome. You can't even get ketchup there. That's kind of the whole thing in Chicago. If you get hot dog,
like ketchup, so that makes sense.
There you go. Yeah, most places don't even have ketchup. There was a place. I wish my buddy Nick was here to give me the name of it because I haven't lived in Chicago in 3+ years. There was this place. There's 2 of them, and I don't know the name to either of them. There was one right across from a Whole Foods in Rogers Park, diagonal, and they had just like it's like kind of like a Polish diner, and they just had like good cheeseburgers. And I would just go there and get a cheeseburger like every Tuesday, and that's actually where my buddy, I think it had the name Grill in it. That's where my buddy Nick and I, after 500K, I had this whole thing at every 100K century mark. I would drink the champagne bottles for that number. And so we hit 500K.
Cool.
pounded a bottle of champagne and went on over to that lunch place. But Gene and Jude's, that random super niche Rogers Park Chicago chain, and then another place I don't know the name to it. It was like this Italian deli right by the Loyola campus downtown, near Magnolia Mile. If anyone's listening, near Water, right in Water Tower. That was like this Italian deli where you could get hot sandwiches or shop for Italian goods. And I would always go there for lunch. So
what are your thoughts on deep dish pizza?
I like deep dish. I like deep dish. Honestly, the way I view Chicago pizza isn't even really deep dish. It's more a tavern style pizza. Yep. Just the way that's cut and made. So we would definitely dinner. Obviously, we're leading up to the pizza.
Yeah, we gotta get a slice.
I don't have a pizza place for you. Obviously, Lou Malnati's is like, if you're gonna go get deep dish, if anybody's listening that's never been to Chicago or wants to go, I would not go to any deep dish place that isn't Lou Malnati's as far as like a chain goes, like Ghirardelli's and stuff. Lou Malnati's is classic.
I bet Ghirardelli's here and it's just not the same.
Yeah, I don't like.
What about Pizzeria Uno? What's your thoughts on Pizzeria Uno? That was downtown Chicago. Have you had that?
Really? Never heard of it.
No. Oh, really? Okay.
No.
I mean, it's one of those places where they say it's like the first like deep dish pizza place.
Oh, really?
Ever, but I don't know if that's actually true. But my wife and I have been like, usually that's like our staple whenever we go downtown.
Sounds like the Juicy Lucy debate here.
It's so good though, but it's funny. It's because like the first time you go there, like we're like starving, like we're gonna get a medium. They're like, you do not want to get a medium, just get a small.
Yeah.
And it's so true because it's like,
dude, you just need one, really.
It's so filling, but. Well, dude, it's been a pleasure having you on the podcast. Great to meet you, man. And let's we'll hop on your podcast here in the near future.
Oh yeah, thanks for having me. Definitely, we'll have to set that up. So around whenever, and we'll get that going.
If you're in the cities here, let us know, man. Love to play some golf, dude. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I haven't been in Minneapolis in so long, but my one buddy, still lives there, so I'm sure I'll eventually make my way. I'll give you guys
send us a message.
Just pick a day. It's not a blizzard outside.
Yeah, make sure it's
right. Go July,
August.
Even May.
Even May. Yeah.
Even May is pretty. So normally it doesn't snow in May. Keyword there is normally.
Yeah, you just never know. Minnesota's, but you're familiar with it. Chicago, kind of similar weather. Yeah. But, well, nice to meet you, man.
Yeah, you too. Yeah.
Take care.
You too.